status of another batch of teachers to be regularized in time for the new school term.
So, Mr. President, we still have some way to go, but we are eating into this number, I said large number of temporary teachers.
Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the National Report, I am Rikisha St. Louis. The Grenada government is moving to regularize the status of a third batch of teachers, with plans to do so in time for the start of the new school term in September. When government returned to office in 2013, there were 650 temporary teachers, some holding that status for more than 20 years. A first batch of 205 was regularized and a further 76 this year. Now, plans are in train for another batch. The regularization will provide security of tenure and give teachers entitlement to training and other benefits enjoyed by permanent workers.
Which will include some 13 teachers, those that were employed again over the last 20 years for an initiative to encourage physical education teachers and the introduction of physical education teachers within the schools. But have maintained this temporary status. So the aim would be to include them in addition to other unregularized teachers. And the plan will be to have that batch regularized before the start of school in September.
Between January and June 2017, more than 120 Emani trainees gained permanent employment. That's according to Senator Pamela Moses, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Religious Affairs. She was speaking during a meeting of the Upper House on Tuesday. Senator Moses said of that number, 50 of them gained employment in March alone.
121 in total. And this is quite important. This tells clearly that there are quite a large number of our young people who are being considered for permanent employment and are actually gaining this permanent employment. Basically in areas like customer service, general office administration, commercial food preparation, bar and waitressing.
The Royal Grenada Police Force is talking tough to those who intend to break the law during the Carnival season. It is adopting a no-tolerance approach, stepping up surveillance as it has done in the past during major seasons which include Easter and Christmas. The force announced on Tuesday during a press conference that it launched its 2017 Carnival Operation Plan on July 10th, which outlines what will and will not be tolerated for the season.
The staging of a number of pre-Carnival policing operational activities to include the execution of commitment warrants, and that includes arrest and fine collection, drug interdiction, firearm seizures, fixed penalty ticket issuance, and above all, the overall sensitization of public safety and security. The objective of our plan is to create and sustain an enabling environment that ensures the safety and security of all citizens, visitors, and spectators during the Carnival period.
ACP Jesmond Prince. He says this year's operational emphasis will be on reducing the use of offensive weapons and increasing police checks and stops.
We will be placing a lot of emphasis on offensive weapons. All of our checks and stops will be focused on offensive weapons. We will also be looking for illegal narcotics and, of course, prohibited weapons or items as it relates to entry into the mass crowd events like shows at the National Stadium and at the various events hosted around the country.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
The power of soca, the lyrical content of calypso converge on one fantastic weekend. Semis Weekend, Progress Park. We are coming. Friday, 20th July. It's soca semi-finals. 30 of the nation's biggest soca stars hit the stage as we transform Progress Park. And on Sunday, 30th July, 20 of the top calypsonians engage the audience with hard hits and commentaries. It's the Melody Poppy 10th Calypso semi-finals. Showtime 5 p.m. Admission to both shows. Advance tickets $30. You pay more at the door. You must be there. Semis Weekend, Friday 28th and Sunday 30th July. Spice Mass 2017. Come, let's play a mass.
Culture Minister Senator Brenda Hood is sounding another call for the main players in Carnival to treat it as a business so that they can help themselves financially as they await their subventions. She was responding to concerns during Tuesday's Senate meeting that subventions are being distributed late.
The subvention just comes and we give it out when we can. So I couldn't tell you why it was not given. All I know is that when the monies come to the Spice Mars, when it goes to the Spice Mars doesn't keep it in its account, it gives it, and there's a procedure to follow, and then they all get their subvention.
Minister Hood says while government has an important role to play in making Spice Mass a success, all must be on board to contribute to that success.
I believe that they need to look at ways in which throughout the year they can raise funds so that when you begin for the following year, at least you have some money to start with. I don't have to always depend on the subvention. What if the subvention is not there? What would you do? So I'm saying it's important that government is given the support, but also I think that many of them have been around for many, many years. So they need to start to operate as a business. What can we do throughout the year so we can have some funds? So by the time we get some subvention from government, we are already started. So this will not prevent them from having, they can only have one activity in their tent. And it seems to me as though they're blaming government because of that. But I'm saying that many of these artists have been around for many years, and I think that they need to plan their activities differently.
The preliminaries of the Calypso competition end this evening with the final judging session at Carnival City on the Carnage. Approximately 24 Calypsonians, the Breakaway and Calypso Kingdom tents are facing the judges from 7 p.m. More details come from Trevor Thwaites.
Another good turnout is forecasted as fans are expected to crowd Carnival City to hear some of the positive social, political and humorous deliveries. The likes of Sheldon Douglas, former Monarch Keturah George, Ashanda Charles, Caleb B, police champion reporter and Alma Boy lead the cast of the Breakaway tent who are keen to go all the way. Calypso Kingdom are also eager to make an impression with Lady Cheryl, Papa Jerry, Messenger, Mr. West, Terror and Reactor leading the way. The previous evenings have been enjoyable with all eyes on the Images House of Soca last night at the Riverside Community Center. The bubbling bubbler, Marvin Andel, who returns after 21 years, Jahides, Boyrick, Kojak, Lady K and Shakalogi were among the main acts. Calypso lovers were also out in their numbers Sunday evening for the judging of the Kingman tent at Lasages with the likes of Laura Lisa, Roosman Kelly, Ja Glory, Supreme, Chain, Tangler and Ja Angel lighting up the arena. The Deluxe Cinema in Grenville also came alive this Saturday evening for the judging of the Kaiso Bads, with the likes of Tansy Matthew, Signal, Big J, Teacher Eddie, Muscles, Mr. Razor, and Candy Duncan in the spotlight. The Knotless Brigade got things going last week Friday evening with a cast of 11 that featured the Madman Zingo, Baraka, Superstar, Nathan J, and Snaky Boy, among others. 18 will be selected for the Melody Papitet semi-finals Sunday, July 30th at Progress Park in St. Andrew, from which 9 will advance to tackle defending champion Scholar for the crown Carnival Sunday evening, the Mardi Gras at the National Stadium. I am Trevor Thwaites for the National Report.
And that's the National Report. I am Rakisha St. Louis.